before you label or condemn me. Don't treat me like a criminal, as I am innocent.
Michael was the nicest guy. He treated us with respect. He was so kind. He never did anything crazy. I know people who knew Mike like that. I don't believe none of that shit. I think it's the fact that Michael had power. Michael owned Sony. He owned a lot of shit. And they wanted to get rid of his ass. And they wanted to ruin his fucking reputation. That's how I feel. I don't want to hear that shit. You know what I mean? Michael was dope and he influenced everybody. Every continent knew who Michael was. And if Michael gave a message, you know, people be like, I want to listen to that. Too much power, man. So they go, let's do this child shit. And because he was a child, that's why he loved children. He was a child. He wasn't creepy like that. Creepy, yeah, as in he couldn't go anywhere. Think about that. You're famous for 40 years. You can't go anywhere. You know what I mean? You can't go anywhere. Michael couldn't go anywhere. And first of all, touching Mike, people touched Mike, bro. You know, when people were raped, they were grabbing him.
Wacko Jacko, where'd that come from? Some English tabloid. I have a heart and I have feelings. I feel that when you do that to me. It's not nice. Don't do it. I'm not a wacko. Should not say he's an animal. Should not say he's Jacko. I'm not a Jacko. I'm Jackson. I've been living in that kind of life all my life. The tabloid press, that kind of press, not the press, the tabloid. The paparazzi, that type. The star needs some space. Give him a chance to relax. He has a heart. He's human.
But you are somewhat eccentric, to say the least. The way you dress, the way you look, it invites attention. The whole appearance, as you grew up. No?
No. Maybe I like to live that way. I like to dress that way. I don't want paparazzi, really. But if they come, be kind. Write the right kind thing to write.
Just because it's in print doesn't mean it's the gospel. People write negative things because they feel that's what sells.
The way you look. Where does it come from?
I think it creates itself, nature.
So when they say things like you've had implants in your cheeks,
Oh God.
you've had a dimple made in your chin, you've had your lips enlarged, you've had your eyelids reconstructed, eyelids reconstructed.
It's stupid.
None of it's true.
None of it's true. None of it's true. It's BS. They made it up. They lie. They don't want to give me credit for anything. One paper said I had because I was growing a little beard, he had each little hair transplanted into his face with a lasered in. How ignorant is that? I can't even grow a beard now? You ignorant fool who wrote such a thing. So don't believe that stupidity.
Is your skin lighter because you don't like being black? I'm a black American. I'm proud to be a black American. I am proud of my race. I am proud of who I am. This is the situation. I have a skin disorder that destroys the pigmentation of the skin. It's something that I cannot help, okay? But when people make up stories that I don't want to be who I am, it hurts me.
Vitiligo is a medical condition that Jackson claims has afflicted him for more than 20 years.
In the beginnings, the vitiligo started happening relatively early. You know, he even was trying to hide it from me. He tried to hide it for quite a while. You know, we'd always try to cover with makeup and even out his skin tone and everything until it just got so extensive. I mean, it's all over his body. We were always trying to hide it and cover it for the longest time until he just had to tell Oprah and tell the world, listen, I'm not trying to be white. I have a skin disease. I tried to cover the light spots to the darkest part of his skin, but then it became so extensive that we had to go with the lighter part of the skin because his whole body was reacting. He'd have to be in complete, full body makeup every inch of his body, you know, so it was easier to make the transition to him being to the lighter shade that he is.
The press has made up so much god-awful, horrifying stories that are completely appalling.
I know.
Completely appalling and so far from the truth. And it's made me to realize the more often a person tell a lie, the more times you hear a lie, I mean, you begin to believe it. Do not judge a person. Do not pass judgment on anyone unless you have talked to them one-on-one. I don't care what the story is. Do not judge them because it's a lie.
People don't stop to think what they're saying sometimes and the effect it can have on a person, you know. My room is a complete wreck. My workers told me, they said, Michael, don't go in your room. They were crying on the phone, my employees. They said, if you saw your room, you would cry. I'll visit Neverland. It's a house now, it's not a home anymore. I'll only visit there. I've been back there, but not in my bedroom. I won't live there ever again.
What has this done to your career?
Album was #1 all over the world. All over the world. America's the only one because, I don't want to say too much.
But it's not #1 in the United States.
It was conspiracy, yeah.
No, Mike was amazing.
So all the, the pedophile, the gay stuff that came.
And I think all that was propaganda because Mike was doing such big things in the publishing world. I always felt like the music side, he was buying out a lot of great real estate. That
the Beatles catalog?
A lot of stuff, and he wouldn't sell it back or wouldn't offer no options for it to be sold. And then, of course, his own catalog, there was a big fight around that. I think what Michael was more about, it was power, because he was super smart and understood what real value meant to America. So he had access to a lot of American just value, and he owned it. And if he didn't own it 100%, he owned it 50%. You know what I'm saying? Like, he owned a big chunk of America's value. That's the best way to put it. And at some point, they're gonna want to have the option to buy it back or control it to an extent. Mike just wouldn't allow it. And I think at that moment, that's when a lot of propaganda and all this whispers and stuff start coming out about him, which was clearly not true.
The minute I started breaking the all-time record in record sales, the minute it became the all-time best-selling album in history in the Guinness Book of World Records, overnight, they called me a freak, they called me a homosexual, they called me a child molester, they said I tried to bleach my skin, they made everything to turn the public against me.
What is your greatest lesson learned?
Not to trust everybody. Not to trust everybody in the industry. There's a lot of sharks.
You have said that you would never harm a child. I want to be specific as I can. Did you ever, as this young boy said you did you ever sexually engage, fondle, have sexual contact with this child or any other child?
I am not going to do anything sexual to a child. I will slit my wrist first. I would never do anything like that. Throughout my life, I have only tried to help thousands upon thousands of children to live happy lives. I am not guilty of these allegations. I have never invited anyone into my bed, ever. Children love me, I love them. They follow me, they want to be with me.
Michael didn't do that shit. Michael even said it. Michael even said, yeah, they sleep in my room. Yeah, they come in my room. He said it. He's like, first of all, think about this. If you're a kid, if you're Michael Jackson, you meet Michael Jackson, you want to hang out with Michael. Well, let's go to Michael's room. I'm sure Michael's room was a fucking living room, by the way. It wasn't like some little bedroom. His room was like, you know what I'm saying?
It just isn't fair what they put me through, because there wasn't one piece of information that says I did that. In any way, they turned my room upside down, went through all my books, all my videotapes, all my private things, and they found nothing that could say Michael Jackson did this. Nothing.
But let me ask you
to this day, nothing.
No matter how how good your intentions are, there's always some jerk, some mean-spirited person to try to bring you down. And all you wanted to do is bring some love and some joy, and they're so quick to hate and to judge and to be cruel and mean. And, it just shows that mankind can be very ugly and cruel. It really does. It brings out the ugly side.
Love back into the world, to remind the world that love is important. Love is important. Love each other. We're all one. So that's to take care of the planet. For 4 years to get it right, or else it's irreversible damage we're doing. So we have an important message to give. Okay? It's important.
Because Michael kept going, because he didn't accept limitations, because he refused to let people decide his boundaries. He opened up the whole world. In the music world, he put on one glove, pulled his pants up, and broke down the color curtain, where now our videos are shown and magazines put us on the cover. It was Michael Jackson that brought blacks and whites and Asians and Latinos together. It was Michael Jackson that made us sing "We Are the World" and feed the hungry long before Live Aid. Michael made us love each other. Michael taught us to stand with each other. There are those that like to dig around mess, but millions around the world, we're gonna uphold his message. It's not about mess, it's about his love message. As you climb up steep mountains, sometimes you scar your knee, sometimes you break your skin, but don't focus on the scars, focus on the journey. Michael Beater, Michael rose to the top. He outsang his cynics. He outdanced his doubters. He outperformed the pessimists. Every time he got knocked down, he got back up. Every time you counted him out, he came back in. Michael never stopped. Michael never stopped. Michael never stopped. Some came today, Mrs. Jackson, to say goodbye to Michael. I came to say thank you. Thank you because you never stopped. Thank you because you never gave up. Thank you because you never gave out. Thank you because you tore down our divisions. Thank you because you eradicated barriers. Thank you because you gave us hope. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Michael.